Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This episode is going to be a little bit different. It's time for the 2024 YouTube Sports Card All-Star Team. And that is spearheaded by Four Leaf Cards. So what that consists of is we are to vote on 6 coaches. They can be Hall of Famers or not Hall of Famers. 15 other individuals that make up the team, and they cannot be Hall of Famers. And then 2 individuals for Rookie of the Year, and that's individuals that have been making videos now for less than 1 year. Now this was exceptionally difficult for me. I'm not just saying that. I went back and forth. Trying to decide whether I really wanted to do it, and because I just felt bad that I was going to leave somebody off, and it doesn't mean that if you are left off that I don't watch your channel, because I certainly do. And with that, I did take a few liberties, and I hope Eric forgives me, but in the spirit of the contest, or spirit of the VR rather, it's about getting some names out there. And so, again, I took a few liberties. So with that, the first liberty is my honorary coach, and that's Four Leaf Cards. He's the one, again, that has put this together. And you have to have a commissioner. And for me, that's Dave over there, Legends of the Dugout. I call him the mayor. I call him Super Dave. I call him a lot of things. Probably a lot of things he doesn't appreciate. But anytime I need a phone number or an email from somebody, I call the mayor. That's Dave, Legends of the Dugout. So he's my commissioner. He seems to know everybody. Now for coaches, I felt like that's kind of a leadership position. And so with that, I thought people that are really good leaders, good coaches, pick your Jim S. And he is in the Hall of Fame. That's the YouTube Hall of Fame. He might be in other Hall of Fames. I don't know, but the YouTube Hall of Fame for sure. Now, Jim's just one of the nicest guys you're going to find in our card community, and he's always supporting others and getting names out there. So I really appreciate that about him. And in no particular order, the next one is one of my Nebraska brothers, Vintage Cards Steve. Go Big Red, Steve. And, Steve, to me, was a leader and a coach, because before I started, I met Steve before I started a YouTube channel, and he encouraged me to do so and gave me some feedback and some advice. So I always appreciated that. So next up, Coach Commenting Collector. And the reason I feel like he's a leader is because the name says it all. Commenting Collector. He's watching each one of your videos. He's commenting on those videos and offering all kinds of encouragement. So, Robert, I really appreciate it, and I think the entire community appreciates it. Hey, everybody's best friend, Scott at Reindeer Studios. How can you not have him? And he is in the Hall of Fame as well. So if you get a chance and you love art, you got to go over and see his art, his doodles, his all of it. It's just I get a kick out of it. It's just a lot of fun to watch. He does so well with the art and the editing. Just, again, makes it very enjoyable. Matt and Tyrus. THA Card Story. That's the Hank Aaron Card Story, for those that didn't know. Matt, really appreciate you putting the Airbnb together for Cleveland. It takes somebody in a leadership position to do that and try to get everything organized. So I really felt like you were deserving of that spot, not only for that, but also for a lot of the stuff that you show. So, Matt, I'm really looking forward to seeing you at the airport around, well, whatever time you get in. You and I are getting in about the same time. Next, and the final coach is Terry over at TJ Maxx Vintage Cards and Nostalgia. Now, and he's in the Hall of Fame as well, for the YouTube Hall of Fame, that is. You can really tell that Terry's a good leader. He communicates so well. He chooses his words so carefully and just puts out great content, great videos, and you can hear the sincerity in his voice, and I appreciate that. So those are my coaches. Next up is the Rookie of the Years. And the first one is Baseball Time Traveler. That's Rob. And Rob does just a terrific job with his narration and his delivery of his videos. What he does is he likes to capture moments in the past of games and then walk you through those. And even though I wasn't there or I didn't hear the game on the radio, he does such a good job that it makes you feel like you were there or you were listening to it on the radio. So great job, Rob. Really, really appreciate you creating a channel and putting forth all that effort. Next up, another Nebraska brother of mine, Mac Wax Stacks. What's up, everybody? That's a terrible impersonation of BK, but hey, I've gotten to know him. He's got a great, fun channel. Please go check him out. That's BK over there. He's quite a whopper. So I'll see him in Cleveland too, I guess, coming up shortly. All right, moving on to now the All-Stars. And again, not these are in no particular order. In fact, I'll just even shuffle them up just to prove my point. But first one is the Cincinnati Kid. And of course, Cincinnati Reds fan. He's done a wonderful job showing his cards and does a really good job again with the narration and explaining why he loves those cards. So keep up the great content, and I hope to see you in Cleveland as well. Hey, how about those three nerds down there in Texas? Justin, you've been so kind to me, and I really appreciate it. And your comments about my interview with Eddie Watt, I can't thank you enough. So I got you here on my All-Star team. Next up, we have up there in Minnesota, Stooks Baseball Cards and Curiosities. Now, the first time I met Stooks, Scott, I was on a live with Dave over there at Legends of the Dugout. So that was the first time I met Stook. And it was my first live. And all Stook wanted to do was talk about mud wrestling. I'm thinking, what? Am I on the right channel here? Am I on the right live? What are we talking about? Mud wrestling. What's going on here? But hey, in all seriousness, you know, if you ever got questions on the exhibit cards, this is your guy. This is the guy to reach out to. It shows a wide variety of different things, from postcards to the exhibits to cards to memorabilia to autographs. It's got a wide-ranging collection. Next up, we have Hammer 44. I'll tell you what, if you have not seen his channel, you better go find it. His editing skills are top-notch, top-notch. I absolutely love his narration and his delivery. So go check out Hammer 44. And I hope to see you in Cleveland as well. Hugo. He's great. He was one of my first subscribers. I really appreciated him reaching out, and he and I have talked on the phone a few times. So Signs of the Pastime. He does all of his, well, I was going to say he does all of his videos outside and on location, but kind of a big whiner. Lately it's too hot out, and over the winter, it was too cold out. And he's wearing a jacket when it's 60 degrees, and I'm here and it's 10 below. Another All-Star, I believe, although I don't know for sure, I believe he's out in California. Mike, the sports history collector. He and I are very similar. We often spotlight old players that served in our military, which I always appreciate. And Mike does a great job of presenting someone's bio and bringing that past back to life. So, Dre Diaz. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't say Mrs. Diaz as well, because it's my understanding she's the production, the director, the editor, all of that stuff. Dre may be the face, but there's a lot of hard work going on behind the scenes. If you ever see his videos, you know there's a lot of work that's going on. So, and although we haven't spoken on the phone or by email, I can tell by your comments, Dre, that you're a very sincere guy, and I really appreciate that. So I look forward to seeing more of your content. Now we have Zach and Porter. And I've said this before to Zach, but Porter really carries that channel. So this is a father and son duo, in case you didn't realize that or know that. And Porter, keep pulling the weight, man. You're doing a great job. Zach, I hope at some point you'll pitch in. Next up, we have the Collecting Mad Dog, or Collecting Maddox. I like calling him Collecting Mad Dog because he's a big Greg Maddox fan, in case you didn't figure it out. So he has a wonderful, wonderful Greg Maddox collection, and I really enjoy watching to see what new cards he's going to find. Collecting Maddox has been a very loyal subscriber to my channel, always commenting and watching, and I really, really enjoy reading his comments. So next up, we have John, 3D 80s Kid. Wonderful editing. But what I'm really impressed with John is, he's part of the Four Collectors channel. And, it took a lot of time for him to watch and review 50 channels and then another 51 channels, as I recall, and do a shout out and a very brief description of those channels and what they're about, and just pushing and promoting those folks. I can't say enough about that. That really speaks to John's character, that he was willing to do that and put the time in. So very appreciative of that. My man Dylan over there in Hawaii, Double D Vintage Baseball Cards. I remember when I first started watching Dylan, he was always doing the the shaka, right? I thought he was saying shocker. I'd never seen this before. I live in Nebraska. I didn't know what that was. So I remember writing him saying, hey, double shocker. And he writes back, it's shaka. So, anyway, we'll see you in about a week, Dylan. All right. These collection, I shouted him out recently. That's Andy over there. And Andy really needs to have more subscribers. I don't quite understand why he doesn't have more. So if you get a chance, go check him out. He's so sincere, such a nice guy. And he's got a wonderful collection. So please go check him out. All right. This is my 1953 Topps brother right here. This is Joe at Four Soft Corners. Both Joe and I have completed our 1953 Topps set, and so every time I see a 1953 card pop up, I think of Joe. So Joe, going to see you in about a week as well. Gordon, it's been great getting to know you. The Athlete Archives. I know I've said this a few times, but I'm going to say it again with respect to Gordon. Delivery and narration, spot on. Does a great job. Tells stories about players that you've never heard of, or likely never heard of, and brings their stories to light, which I think is wonderful. And I kind of like to do that myself. So I kind of think of the Athlete Archives and Rob over there at Baseball Time Traveler, and Mike over there in California with the History Collector. They're kind of like myself. I really enjoy that old history and bringing stories that people have probably forgotten about these individuals, and potentially stories that wait to be uncovered. So my last AllStar is Mooki. Now Mooki, I still wonder if Mookie's not the guy that actually puts the pinholes in the cars that he collects. I It's my understanding there's some allegations out there that maybe he's the one doing it, and I look forward to seeing where that's going to end up. But Mookie, I believe you're going to be out there as well in Cleveland for the Nationals, so I look forward to seeing you. I always enjoy your comments and the live streams. It always brightens my day, so keep it up, man. All right, Eric, I told you I was taking liberties, so here's some more. This is my international team. So we've got God is Great, an undrafted player. So God is Great is a guy that probably does a shout out every single day, probably multiple times a day. I don't think I'm exaggerating, but he's always trying to get everybody's name out there, supporting everybody's channel. And so I really appreciate his effort. And then we have Fabian, undrafted player from France. And of course, his sidekick, TT. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm gonna go with it. I love it when TT makes an appearance. She steals the show. So Fabian's got a big collection of a variety of different things, from memorabilia to old gloves to cards to through the mail, all of those things. It's always a pleasure to see what he's going to come up with. He's even put some models together, so that's always interesting. And I should have mentioned, God is Great, big Owatani fan, obviously, over there in Japan. He actually even rips some Japanese Topps baseball cards packs. Those are fun to see what's inside. So once again, this was extremely difficult. It really was. I mean that sincerely. So I appreciate you watching. Good luck to everybody, and I'll see a lot of you in Cleveland here in about a week. Keep growing your collection, card farmers.